America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Vic Matus is the weekend editor at the Washington Free Beacon, co-host of the Getting Hammered podcast, and Jose Feliciano aficionado, I hope. Are you, in fact, a Jose Feliciano aficionado?
Just one of his many hits, Hugh. I'm sure he has others, but yeah.
There's a greatest hits album out there somewhere. That was a staple of the 70s and the 80s. Vic, I want to do with you, first of all, Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas season. Are you getting things organized at the Matus household?
We are working on it. In fact, as you can see, my background is different. I've been displaced by a tree. So the tree is up. Yes, it's already here. Part of the lights are on. We're just waiting for, then we have a whole thing with the decorating, part of it.
You've already got like 5 Christmas cards there. We're trying to make one. Yeah. We're trying to get one organized.
Yeah, no, our card is not yet ready. We're waiting for those to come in and we can send those out. But, there are those who are prepared and they're already behind us right there.
All right, Vic, I have 2 big questions for you today. Well, you did a review of the Pod Save America post-mortem with Mary Catherine on the latest edition of Getting Hammered. I want to go back to that. But first, I have a question. Do you think Karine Jean-Pierre will get a job on air somewhere?
Yeah, assuming that MSNBC is still a network and it hasn't been completely sold off at the moment with Comcast, she might get a show over there, But as you know, the winds are changing, and if in fact it goes up for sale and they're making cuts, I don't know what kind of a deal she will get. Honestly, I obviously can't imagine her on some other network. She could start off on a panel like on CNN or something. I mean,
I used to do panels with Karine during my NBC days, and it never made any sense to me then. But I mean, what do you think you're buying if you buy Karine Jean-Pierre as a talent? What do you think you're getting? Has she lost the ability to be funny and whimsical and in the moment?
Okay, well, Karine Jean-Pierre, let's just say 2.0, right, in her role as a White House press secretary. If you're getting that on your network or on your show, it's really to appeal to a very small segment of listeners who are left, who actually want to be told that everything is going to be all right and everything that they believe for the last 4 years is true. Every time that they change the story, it's okay. We just keep on moving forward. However, if Karine Jean-Pierre decides, you know what, I can't do this anymore, and I'm going to write my tell-all for a lot of money, and I will tell you what I saw from inside, what I saw from the Biden revolution, then yeah, she'll probably appear on a lot of networks.
Would you buy that book? I mean, if you were a publisher, would you buy the Karine Jean-Pierre memoir?
Yes, I mean, yeah, without question, assuming that she's going to give us juicy stuff and not just continue to regurgitate the talking points. I think that
not a chance. I wouldn't buy that on spec in a million years. You'd have to write the whole thing, and I'd have to review it. Okay, so I don't think Karine Jean-Pierre is going to end up with her own show like Jen Psaki because MSNBC is falling apart. The plane is crashing, and so I don't know that she goes to CNN. Their problem is not that they have too few liberals, leftists or otherwise, apologists for the left. I think she's going to be trouble for anyone who wants. I mean, what happens if you're a shareholder of a company that announces Karine Jean-Pierre joined your board?
Right. Okay. So again, the mood right now is not ideal for Karine Jean-Pierre as she is right now. But again, if she decides to do a tell-all and she says, you know what, I can't take it, and this is really what happened behind the scenes, and Biden, we all knew it. Wow. I don't
think we're going to get that. That brings me to part 2. I listened to you and Mary Catherine talking about the Pod Save America. I listened to part of it, but I couldn't stand it, actually, listening to Tommy Vietor and the gang Pfeiffer, the Pod Bros, the Obama Bros, talking with I'm sorry, we were really bad at what we did, except we did a lot with 107 days and $1 billion. And it was Jen O'Malley Dillon, David Plouffe, Quentin Folkers, and Stephanie Cutter. And I've dealt with 3 out of those 4 people, and I don't think any of them gave you any new gave Pod Save America any new information. Did you?
No, I mean, that was the disappointing part because they have this golden opportunity either on the one hand, for the podcasters to ask, very tough questions, and when they don't answer them, to really get to some, hard, honest facts about the major failures of the Biden-Harris campaign, given everything that they were given. And then on the other hand, it's also very disappointing because, as I mentioned on the show, listening to their post-mortem is like John Belushi, at the end of the Blues Brothers, telling Carrie Fisher, my tux was at the cleaners. There was a flood. My car broke down. I had a flat tire. It wasn't my fault because nothing is their fault. They had a small window to work with. Joe Biden
107 days.
Yeah, 107 days.
That's the
And
memoir I would buy. I would buy
Yeah.
107 Days by Stephanie Cutter, provided that she actually spilled the beans. I mean, the
That's
beans,
right.
there are a lot of beans to spill, aren't there?
Yeah, that's right. Because you mentioned 107 days, and not to mention the 1.5 billion dollars that they managed to spend, and again, still be $20 million in debt. The amount of money that they had to give to celebrities to help them with their various logistics, their production companies, really, Hugh, was quite impressive. What they really found themselves in. I mean, this is the thing that they won't talk about is, I mean, they complain about the press handling them, which is funny because Hillary Clinton used to complain and Bill Clinton used to complain all the time about how cruel the media was to them. They feel the same way because they were given a hard time that Kamala Harris wasn't giving any interviews, and then fine, we'll give an interview, and then they give her a hard time for giving it. That's not really the answer. The answer is that she was bad at it, and they were hiding her as long as they could until it became untenable. And then when she did go,
how do you get 50,000 words out of the president was too old, the first lady wouldn't let him retire, and the vice president was a horrible candidate? That's the story of 2024. That's it. The president was too old, the first lady wouldn't let him retire, and the vice president was just the worst candidate we've ever been asked to deal with. It's like a Mission Impossible series-ending film where the bomb blows up while Tom Cruise is trying to disassemble it. There are some things you can't get out of, Vic.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and there's stuff that's happening right now. I mean, we want to know, where's the president, where's the vice president right now. Even the video that she sent out to supporters, was kind of a hot mess of a video, shall we say?
Oh my gosh!
And people wonder about that. So the drama continues. But again, as you mentioned, it was a poorly run campaign, but they had a very difficult product or brand to sell. And I think that was largely the problem. You couldn't hide her. And every time she went on, even if you picked the easiest, the most softball of interviews, she'd whiff. She'd whiff at that. Think about it.
She was just so bad.
A lot. Yeah, like The View.
So bad.
Think about that. Yeah.
Now, I want to close by asking you about what I opened the show with. Assad is gone. The civil war is 13 years old. 500,000 people murdered by Assad. 2 million people refugees in Europe. 12 million people internally displaced. Did anyone see it coming? Because I have this theory that our intelligence agencies don't actually do anything. Did anyone say Assad can be knocked over like a bad reindeer on a Christmas display?
No, I mean, it's funny. What I do remember, and I think it's a tweet that goes all the way back to 2013, was Donald Trump actually warning people that the Syrian, quote, freedom fighters are people who want to crash planes into our buildings. And there is some truth to that. I mean, because you have a situation right now that it's much easier to see now that it's over than certainly people were looking at early on in the Civil War, which is you have one side that's being supported by Turkey's Erdogan, and those were the rebels. And then you have the regime itself, which is a bloodthirsty regime being supported by Iran and Russia. Jonathan Shanzer from the Foundation Defense Democracy said it was like the movie Alien versus Predator. I mean, who do you pick on that? So it is a difficult situation. And when the Obama administration wanted to get involved, they weighed in by encouraging Putin to help intervene in the civil war, because what they didn't want was a repeat of Libya. And I get that. But certainly having Russia step in, because as we all know, power abhors a vacuum, was a terrible idea. They have these bases there. I know there's a push to get to have Trump talk to whoever the next leader of Syria is and say, "Hey, we can help you. Give us those bases." That might work. I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't put it past Trump to be able to pull something off like that. But that's clearly a
I
difficult
just want
situation.
people
And
to
it's revealing of
extrapolate.
Russia and Iran. Yeah.
I just want them to extrapolate. If the entire federal government works as well as our intelligence agencies did in predicting the collapse of Assad, that's what Doge is about. Is that we've got all the nobody knew it was coming. So it's like, what? Huh? A week ago, was anyone talking about Assad falling and then he's gone? And it happens again and again and again. We are always surprised, and I wonder how it is that we make it out of a century of surprise. We've only gone a quarter of it thus far. Vic Matus, Victorino Matus on Twitter. Follow him as well. And Mary Catherine Hammett, the wonderful Must Listen to Getting Hammered podcast. If you don't listen to Getting Hammered, you cannot be happy throughout the week. It is what one takes to be happy throughout the week, twice a week, getting hammered. Thank you, Vic.